Alright, welcome back to Code Veronica. In this video, we shall be, hopefully, escaping Rockford Island once and for all. Claire Redfield and Steve Burnside are just about ready to get out of here. We have everything we need, so I don't see why we can't just leave.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate.
And as there is no real way to get to the ship, or the plane, we have to take this new entrance that has shown itself. Because as I said in the last video, nothing can ever be easy, can it? There's some herbs in here, might as well take something because, like I said, there is going to be a boss battle coming up soon. And you're going to want to be prepared, as we have not yet encountered a boss battle. And there's no actual countdown for it, like the voice over the PA or whatever keeps saying like, oh yeah, it's gonna self-destruct, but there's no time limit. You can take your sweet-ass time. And here, before we leave this area, we have to solve a little block-pushing puzzle, which we have not seen a lot of in this game. This one looks like a real brain buster here. I don't know what me from half a year ago is doing right now. There we go. So now that we have some free time, I might as well talk about some more of the development of this game. As I said earlier, this game was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 3, and the reason that it is not was actually because of Sony. Sony wanted the final game made for the PlayStation, at least in terms of Resident Evil games, to be a numbered game. Like, instead of having this random game called Code Veronica, or just not Code Veronica, because Code Veronica was never going to be on PlayStation. They wanted, like, whatever Nemesis was going to be called, they wanted that to just be called 3. So, instead they just named this game Code Veronica, which is a thing that literally you don't hear the words Code Veronica or anything relating to a Code Veronica until the very end of the game, so it's very odd that they named it that. But yeah, that is actually why this game is not technically Resident Evil 3, even though I really consider this game Resident Evil 3.
I will not allow you fools to escape. This is what you get for trying to oppose me. Now feel my revenge.
I feel so sorry for Claire in this game. She is just surrounded by idiots every single place she goes. Like, Steve and Alfred are some of the dumbest characters in all of Resident Evil. Steve more so than Alfred, but, you know. So through here, we're gonna have a little encounter. Dead. So here we have this game's Tyrant. This first phase isn't really that bad. All you have to do is just kind of keep shooting him, and eventually he will go down. He's really not that hard. Don't get too close to him. You're just gonna kind of want to make sure you don't get anywhere close to him. Otherwise, he will punch you. The type of Tyrant, I do believe, is TO3, I think. Yeah, you're gonna want to not do what I just did there and kept doing. Yeah, this was the cargo that we heard a lot about in a couple notes. This is the one that Hunk declined to transfer to the island because he was too uncertain of, you know, what would happen if it got loose. So that is what Hunk was referring to there. And speaking of Hunk, a commenter commented on one of the videos saying that Hunk was originally supposed to be the main character of Resident Evil 3, which I never knew, and I'm really glad that he commented that, because I looked it up, and originally Resident Evil 3 was not supposed to be about Jill. It was not supposed to take place in Raccoon City. It was supposed to be called Resident Evil Gaiden, not the Game Boy game, and it was supposed to take place on a ship, which I think the Game Boy game also did. But yeah, it was supposed to be Hunk on a cruise ship, or just a ship, a cargo ship, whatever. And I think that would have been really interesting, because Resident Evil 3 really isn't like my favorite game. It's really, I don't think, that great. Which I know is going to piss a lot of people off, because I know a lot of people really love that game, but I think Resident Evil 3 was a game that was very obviously made on a budget and wasn't really supposed to do anything different. It really doesn't add to the story. It's pretty much just like, hey, this takes place before and after Resident Evil 2. Find out what happened to Raccoon City, lol, okay, bye. This game definitely feels more like what Resident Evil 3 should have been, because it actually advances the plot. You know, Wesker comes back, which is a pretty important bit of, you know, information. And it's about the Redfield siblings, which are pretty important characters. So I think this game is a lot better warranted as Resident Evil 3 than Nemesis is. Nemesis feels more like the side story, and Code Veronica feels more like the main game. Which is pretty much what it was supposed to be, but now this one's looked at as the main game, and 3 is looked at as the, you know, the main game, whereas Code Veronica is the side one. But what are you gonna do? It's not like I can go back and change time. Or can I? Imagine if your video title changed as soon as I said that and it said Resident Evil 3. That would be some crazy shit right there.
Took you so long. I was starting to get worried.
No time to explain. Let's go. All
Right,
personnel,
we're out of here. Time to say goodbye to this death trap.
We're escaping from this island so hardcore we turned into an FMV.
We made it! Yahoo!
Ugh, it's finally over.
Say goodbye to Rockford Island.
Claire, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Steve, what was that? You're what? You're sorry?
No, it's okay. It was hard for both of us.
Well, I really hope you find your brother. I know what it's like to be alone.
Oh, Steve.
So, where should we go now? I can take you anywhere you want to go, Claire.
I hear Hawaii's nice this time of year.
You got it!
How about Raccoon City? Oh. Oh god, what is this idiot doing? The least threatening villain in all of Resident Evil. What is he doing? This cutscene will actually be somewhat important for a location that you're going to have to go to later on. So remember what he did with that tank.
This game is not over yet.
Also remember that little
What
seal.
real terror is all about.
I very highly doubt that Alfred Ashford knows how to drive a VTOL, or pilot a VTOL anyway, because if you read the notes in the game, he's pretty much been confined to this island his entire life, protecting a certain thing. And I highly doubt that he's been able to get out and get training in a VTOL. Like, come on, man.
open.
I'll go back and check it out.
Thanks. I've unlocked the cargo room door.
So this was the part specifically that I got stuck at when I first did the Let's Play the first time blind. I pretty much wasted all my ammo in the game because I was terrible at this game. Like, I pretty much wasted all of my grenade rounds, all my handgun stuff. So this next part I had to do with nothing but a knife. So it just really... it really didn't make me want to, like, keep playing this game. So, yeah. I stopped the recording, but I eventually did beat this part with the knife, like, off-screen, and beat the game normal. But it was not fun. It's one of those things where, like, if you could beat Wesker with eggs, you could beat this next part with a knife. You just have to try hard enough. But yeah, this next part's kind of, interesting. So, what we have to do here is we have to knock the Tyrant out with that, but he is too strong right now and will not, you know, take kindly to that, so what we need to do is weaken him up a little bit. It isn't really that hard when you're properly equipped and when you have the right amount of weapons, health, ammo, so that's pretty much what you just need to do here in order to be successful. There is not a single enemy or boss in this game that I would say is difficult to deal with. Which is weird, because I feel a lot of people think this game is very difficult, which I really don't see at all. I forget if there's like a real indication of whether or not you can tell when he's getting weakened, but it's just kind of, you gotta get a feel for it, I think. This is pretty much when we're going to waste the most of our grenade launcher rounds, because after this point, I don't really find a very good use for him, so let's try this again. Woohoo! And no, I do not know how the Tyrant got up here in the first place. See, I wouldn't want to be ya. Have a nice trip, seeing X fall. Other action hero cheesy movie quotes.
What was wrong?
Oh, nothing. Just a giant cockroach that had to be stepped on.
What's happening?
I don't know. The plane just changed direction on its own. It's flying in autopilot mode. I can't switch over to manual control.
My apologies, but I cannot let you escape now.
Alfred! You cross-dressing freak!
Where are we?
Huh?
Latitude 82.17 degrees. That's the Antarctic. We're over the Antarctic.
What? Hey! Those are the seaplanes that left the island right before us!
Then that must mean this place belongs to Umbrella.
And with that, we have reached the end of Disc 1 and the end of the first half of the game.